everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And for today's review, we're going to take a look at the brand new release Player Select 7-inch God of War 3 Kratos Ghost of Sparta figure from NECA Toys. Now this is part of their Ultimate figure line, and it comes packaged in a box that's made to look very similar to the video game packaging. You've got that God of War 3 logo up at the top, and then a close-up look at the Kratos face, and then we also have the NECA logo up at the top, official licensed product from Sony, and Sony's logo down in the corner. Also, it tells us that this figure is for ages 17 and older. On the side of the packaging, we have a look at the figure in various poses with accessories. On the other side, we have that God of War 3 logo. And then on the back, we have some artwork up at the top. It says, "In the end, there will be only chaos." And then down below, we have a look at the figure, and it shows, tells us about the accessories and everything that come with it. And then down below that, we have some credits for people involved with making of the figure. Now this is a window box type packaging. It opens up, it can, closes with some Velcro, so you can open it up and you've got a look at the figure on the inside with all the accessories on one side, and then we have some artwork on the other side with some scribblings that you really can't read. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. Now the figure comes with a number of different accessories, which we'll look at first before we get to the figure. So first of all, he comes with these lion fists that you put around his hands, and the sculpting on these are really nice. Paint applications are really detailed. You've got some nice wash work with the teeth and eyes, just really nice sculpting detail. You've got the open mouth on both of them. They're basically the same. The paint on this one looks a little bit lighter than on this one, but again, for the most part, the sculpting is the same, and paint applications are pretty identical. And what you do is you just put these things on around his fists, and they fit on there pretty tight. Now the lion heads are kind of heavy. They're heavy plastic, so it does kind of weigh down the lower arm a little bit. The arm tends to fall when you put these on, but you can still get them in pretty good poses and stuff. And with this one, he's got this little extra armor piece that you can remove. It's just a soft rubber material, and it's got some nice sculpting detail on it, but you probably want to take that off when you put the fist on there, because it can kind of get in the way otherwise. Now the lion heads themselves, you can, once you get it on there, they kind of move, but they are not articulated at all. There's no moving parts on the actual fists themselves. So besides the fists, he also comes with his signature flame swords, and I like how they've made it so you can put them on his back when he's not actually holding them in his hand. So I like that. You've got this kind of chain thing that you can just slide them into, so that's nice. And the swords themselves, again, really nice detailing with the paint applications and sculpting. They're pretty much identical to one another, but you've got the translucent kind of yellow plastic for the flame blade, and then on the middle of the blade you've got some sculpting detail done with black and red paint. And then I really like the sculpting of like the head on the handle of the sword, and I like the wash work that you get on it. You've got this chain that's kind of sculpted around the handle and everything. He holds both swords nice and tight. Now the plastic on the hand is a bit hard, so the first time you try and get the swords in the hand, you might want to take a blow dryer and loosen the plastic up a little bit. Otherwise it can be a little tricky to get them in the hands. The plastic or the material they used on the handle of the sword is a bit softer, so you can kind of squeeze it through there. But again, that first time you might want to just loosen up the plastic on the hands a little bit with a blow dryer. So finally we get two different heads with this figure. The head that's attached to the figure when you take it out of the packaging is this one with this kind of grit where he's gritting his teeth, and the overall sculpting on both head sculpts is really nice. Paint applications as well. I really like the way they've done the skin texture. He's got the little scar over his one eye, and then he's got the dark maroon paint over the other eye, and he's got the goatee. So the other head that he comes with looks very similar. It's just he doesn't have he's not gritting his teeth. I kind of like the second head a little bit better, but both I think look really good. It's just how you like your figure displayed with the gritting teeth or with the mouth basically closed. Putting the heads is easy. You just pop the one off, and it's got this little ball joint that sticks out the neck, and then you just pop on the second head, and it just snaps right on. For the figure itself, NECA is known for its sculpting and paint applications, and this figure does not disappoint. They have done a really nice job with the paint applications on this figure, and the overall sculpting is really nice as well. So as I mentioned, with the skin, with the white skin, and then you've got the speckled markings all throughout, the shading and everything on the skin, which I think looks really good. You've got these armor pieces on this one arm, and they're done with a soft kind of rubber material. So as I mentioned, this one on his lower arm is removable. The one on his upper arm looks like you could possibly pull it off, but I don't think it's really meant to. I think it's glued in there, so I don't want to pull on it too hard and pull it out. But it is a soft rubber material, so it doesn't really limit the movement of the arm too much. So I like that. He's also got this one that comes over his shoulder here, and again, it's kind of a soft rubber type material. And then I really like the sculpting with like the chains around his wrist. I think that looks really good. And again, he's got like another scar here in his midsection, and you can see some veins here on his shoulder. So just really nice sculpting detail and attention to overall detail with the paint and everything with this figure. This cloak piece that he wears is again that soft kind of vinyl material. It's a separate piece from the figure, and it's not removable or anything, but it is that kind of vinyl material. And then again, he's got some nice detailing here down on his shoes, his boots. He's got these wings that are sculpted off to the side, and again, they're kind of done with that soft rubber material. And then he's got the straps for his sandal, and even nice detailing with like the toes and everything. This figure is quite tall. He stands just a little bit under 8 inches tall. Articulation on this figure, it's pretty nice. Now, I haven't had any quality control issues with like breakage of any type with this figure. I will say the joints are a little bit on the loose side in some areas, but overall I think the construction of this figure is pretty nice. The head, as I mentioned, is attached with that little ball joint that sticks out the neck, so he can look left and right, and he's got a little bit of up and down movement with the head, not a whole lot, but some, and he can kind of pivot his head to the left and the right as well a little bit. Arms are attached with your standard ball hinge joint at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out good. Even the one, this one arm with the shoulder pad, as I mentioned, because it's that soft kind of rubber material, so you can still get the arm out pretty good, and he's got pretty good rotation on both arms. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got a double hinged elbow. He can bend his elbow about that much. I think I said he's got a bicep swivel. He's also got swivels at the wrist, and he's got hinges on the hand, so he's got good down movement with the hand. Because this piece on his lower arm kind of comes out over the hinge joint on his wrist, it does limit some of the up movement with the hand. He's got a midsection joint, so he can crunch down pretty good, and he can look back a little bit. He's got a waist swivel. Legs are attached with ball hinge joints, so he can do the splits good, and he can get his leg forward pretty good. The skirt piece limits some of the forward and back movement with the legs, especially on this one, but still he can get the leg forward pretty good, and he can do his leg back. He's got a thigh swivel that's up high, so it's hidden by the skirt piece, which is nice. He's got a double jointed knee, so he's got good bending at the knee, and then he's got the feet are attached with ball joints. Now again, this armor piece kind of comes down over the joint, so it does limit some of the foot movement. You can kind of rotate to the left and right, and he's got a little bit of up and down movement, a little bit of a pivot, but not a whole lot, and then 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I really like this figure. I think NECA's done a great job with the sculpting and the paint applications. The construction of the figure seems to be nice and sturdy. I haven't had any kind of breakage issues, and you get a lot of nice accessories. So overall, if you're a fan of the God of War video game series, I think this is one that you're definitely going to want to add to your collection. So this figure is out now. It's going to cost in the neighborhood of $25, which isn't too bad with all the detailing and accessories and everything that you get. We'll have a full gallery of images up at toynewseye.com. There's a link in the description below, and as always, leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and until next time, I'll catch you later.